What's up, everybody? Tonight we are going to discuss episode something titled What's up, guys? Tonight we're talking about episode 5, The Big Scary You. Holy shit. We got
It's kind of like a self-reflection type of episode where you find out a little bit more backstory and
Yeah, we got a lot of character development with Negan.
right. Some character developments.
And we got it was like a confessional almost between the two of them, between Gabriel and Negan.
which I just don't understand in Gabriel's position. Like, why is he this person that always seems to feel like he's saving himself and he's trying to save others at the same time, but not truly on the Rick's side of the battle here?
You know, week in and week out, we're telling him to just spray and pray in Negan's direction so he could just, like, kill him. But it is sort of...
He's just this embattled character that's never really, like, focused or never really, like, just went all in on something. Because
he's constantly in turmoil with himself.
Every time you start to root for Father Gabriel, like he's part of this, the what are they called? The Saviors? No, the Rick's group.
Survivors.
Every time you feel like Father Gabriel, like you're rooting for him, that he's fully on the side of the survivors, he just almost does like a complete 180 all the time, and he flip-flops. He's a flip-flopper. He is the flip-flopper of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, and I kind of find it funny how he's suddenly convinced by Negan, almost in a sense, to work with him and to kind of hear him out almost. Like, it's weird how his kind of priestly personality is coming out at this very moment to try to get a confession out of Negan in hopes to work with them and get out of that trailer alive.
I mean, I think it's just kind of like a result of survival mode. I mean, they're the only two there, and if he kills one of them, then there's probably less chance. But to be honest with you, he could have killed Negan and used the guts of that walker and got out himself somehow. I mean, I don't know.
He almost did too. He got the drop on him. He was, he was praying, Lucille, give me strength, and he got that drop on him. Took his gun, but he failed in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said that in this world, no matter what side you are, I just feel like they're all justified in their own reasons, and we got to find a little bit of that from Negan confessing to Father Gabriel, and then also seeing the side of the saviors of how they look at Negan
and how they depend on him too,
right?
Because throughout their meetings and trying to find the mole and trying to figure out what they're going to do about the situation. They're running out of food, they're running out of water, and their workers are, getting up in arms. All it takes is just Negan, and
to show up, and everything is copacetic.
Yeah, that whole scene where the workers just kind of infiltrated the second floor.
Yeah.
They tried to, Simon and Dwight, they tried to calm everything down.
Keep
they tried
everything under control.
Yeah, they tried to control the situation. Simon was just kind of like trying to be a Negan guy who's like, y'all need to go back to the first floor.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that tone, and I'm gonna have to correct you.
And nobody bit. Nobody was like, man, you're full of shit, bro.
They don't have the same respect as the all-encompassing leader of the saviors. So
and somebody drew a gun.
Yeah.
And then what's her name?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Female Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That is Jean-Claude Van Damme, a female
muscular.
Version. She's got some guns, but she's the one. I think her name is Regina.
Oh yeah, Regina.
She pulls out her gun and takes that person down.
I like this allegory in the episode about people as a resource. Negan drives it home really, really successfully that, like, at the end of the day, when you try to understand him, when you try to empathize with a villain like Negan, it's kind of correct how he doesn't really kill people that don't need to die. I mean, obviously he killed the people who were involved with the shooting at the satellite outpost.
Right. And he makes a really good point about, the death of Glenn and who's Ginger Man? What's his name?
Ginger Man?
Yeah, what's his name? the guy that got his
Abraham.
Abraham. So Negan makes a really good point when he killed Glenn and Abraham that he didn't kill them, Rick did. You know, when he was just saying that I didn't get them killed, Rick got them killed.
Yeah, and that goes, you know,
and that he's kind of right.
I mean, it makes it easier to kind of understand him, because, you know, a good villain always makes you kind of relate to him. Mm-hmm. Like you said, I see your viewpoint. You're still kind of crazy, though.
Yeah.
And those are always the good villains, in my opinion, when they're written so that you can kind of see that they're right, in a sense, but they're still going about it the wrong way. They're.
But how do you know they're going about it the wrong way? Because all sides in this world are just trying to make it. So
for me, their ends is what I can relate to as being correct.
Sure.
The means, however, is something that you can disagree with. So his end is keep people under control, have an existing economy with workers and people not fighting each other. There's no violence. But his means is, you know, scare them with fear, like, you know, burn people alive in the furnace if they you know, raise a voice, and that's how he works. And Rick works kind of with like charisma and inspiration and trying to get people to work together via their own volition. So
sure,
that's the dichotomy between the two. They both kind of have the same ends, but their means are definitely different.
Yeah, I mean, I guess everyone would just naturally, you know, gravitate towards Rick's type of leadership,
right?
Versus the other guy who's a little bit more brutal.
Negan's works too. I mean, you see it when he just like whistles, and everybody knelt to the ground, and everybody just kind of gave in. And they even said like, "Thank God for you, Negan."
Yeah,
it's that was like his.
He was like the Messiah or something. He was like the savior of that entire community, that population that depends on his leadership. So, yeah, it was really interesting seeing that side of it, like how these people, even, you know, when you see Rick, you know, being tried to be told by Daryl that everyone needs to die or whatever, like there's casualties of this war, and then Rick kind of tries to convince him that but there's that community that they're not fighters, that they should get a chance to live, but like he doesn't know how loyal they are to Negan on the other end.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it goes without saying. It shows when Negan whistles and they all kneel and they're all worshiping him, and it shows because he didn't even do much. He just said, "I'm back. Yeah. I'm not dead. I'm gonna go take a shower."
Man, and then with the leather jacket. And a bat.
And balls of steel.
Balls of steel.
And that's all it took. Everybody kind of just took his word for it, and they were like, thank God, everything's back under control. He really didn't, like, save them or anything.
Yeah.
And then the way Rick leads, it's very much a democracy, and it all hinges on people believing in him.
Yeah.
And
probably that's why, you know, that big tussle with Daryl and Rick happens.
The tag team champions are fighting each other, you know.
To be honest with you, I think Daryl would kick his ass.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of HBK versus Diesel, you know,
that's
the
interesting.
infighting between the two friends.
Yeah. That's a really awkward relationship now, and I was expecting Rick to like hop in the back of Daryl's bike and they ride off like
on the bitch seat.
Yeah, they just kind of like kiss and make up that way, like they get a little hugging, you know, going out. But
they kind of kiss and made up in their own way. They kind of just like looked in each other's direction,
bro kind of way.
Yeah, like all right,
Rick was walking.
Rick was looking here, and Daryl was looking that way, and he was like, you know, chokehold's illegal, son of a bitch. And he's like, yes, it is. And then he's like, it looks like I'm walking. He's like, yep. That's how they squared it away. It's
kind of like when we get in an argument, how we say sorry. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm not even looking at you. Yeah. That was... All right. Cool.
Sometimes we just walk away, you know. But yeah, more of a reflective episode. Do you think that Dwight's going to get found out? You think Eugene is going to keep his secret?
You know, with Eugene, I just don't know what he's going to do. Like, I just feel like he's a flat-out traitor at this point.
Oh, for sure.
But he's also all about self-preservation. And so he's in his head. He's probably just going through all these calculations that Eugene goes through, and was like, okay, so if I do this, what happens to this?
Yeah,
What's
so
my safety factor?
He's measuring,
Like,
or
you know,
he's weighing which
Yeah.
provides him more
yeah.
of preservation.
And guys, you know what? If you're watching The Walking Dead and you get a chance to put it on subtitles when Eugene is talking,
Oh my
it's the
goodness.
best part of it. When you read the kind of language or the words that comes
Listen,
out of his mouth when he's...
When we were watching,
It's
I
amazing.
laughed my ass off because I could not understand Eugene, and when I saw the subtitles, I still couldn't understand
like,
him.
what?
I was like, when mouth met foot or something like that at an unavoidable velocity. This guy says some really ridiculous shit.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
it's
and
awesome.
It
It's
was
awesome.
some good comic relief, and so, you know.
Good episode.
Now the saviors have to figure out who the traitor is. I don't know if they're going to do that, but it's up to Eugene at this point whether
Yeah.
or not, because he obviously knows. He put 2 and 2 together, and we'll
Yeah.
see from there.
Yeah.
Next episode, you know, we're up against the garbage people,
Yeah, I don't really remember what they're called, but I guess they're still in
the
it.
landfill people.
Yeah, whatever. But I guess Rick is trying to make a deal with them, like another one, as if you could trust them from how it all went down the last season. So
I mean, that's what Rick does. You know, he kind of just
wheeling and dealing Rick Grimes.
Yeah, that's his shtick. You know, he goes to everybody, he tries to make deals. You know, his like I said, his means doesn't match Negan's. If he was Negan, he'd be like,
Right.
I'm gonna shut this shit down. Well, Rick's just gonna go in there. He's like, we need to make a deal, Carl.
Yeah. You know what? That's kind of interesting for me. Is like, the rewards or like the type of society that you're living in. Like, if I was in Negan's group and I was like really a good worker or a good lieutenant, I get to have women. I get to like have like awesome food all the time. I get my own room. I got my own TV, video games. And if I was on Rick's side, I would just probably have a normal life, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, no ups and downs of the reward.
Well, there's a lot of
tree.
ups and downs.
Well, yeah, but like it's kind of a weird, you know, dichotomy, as you say.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a great episode. I still miss seeing the King Ezekiel.
He's not
we didn't
done.
get any.
I mean,
we didn't get any of his grand speeches in this one. And so,
yeah, they kind of hinted at that when Rick and Daryl were talking. He said, the kingdom's no longer there.
they're pretty much gone. They're done.
I
like
think
all of their soldiers are like wiped
their
out,
workers are still back there though, but we'll see. You know,
Yeah.
in the next episode.
which is kind of sad.
And that'll wrap up this week's review of The Big Scary You.
The Big Scary You.
Until next week.
All right, guys.